to one and all present here. I, Neetu Mehrotra, welcome you all on behalf of Parent Station, the one stop destination for all we need in the journey of parenthood. As today is Wednesday, we are back with the book review of Tough Time Never Lasts But Tough People Do, episode 2. As you know, in the first episode, we reviewed how to put problem in proper perspective. But what when we can't solve the problem? At that time, we need to manage problems positively, creatively, and constructively. Today, I will throw a light on the principles for managing problems positively, which are beautifully crafted in this book, Tough Time Never Lasts, but Tough People Do. So, without wasting any time, let's move ahead with the principles for managing problems positively. First of all, we should never underestimate a problem or your power to cope up with it. You need to realize that the problem you are facing is already faced by a million people. Hence, your reaction to that problem will determine the outcome. There are many people who turn their problems into creative experiences just with the help of positive mental attitude. Similarly, you can also turn your scars into stars. Secondly, we need to keep in mind that not to exaggerate the problem, because which means that we should not play with the problem. We should never overthink about the problem. Let's say if you are unemployed, so that doesn't mean that you can never get a job. So stop exaggerating the problem and you will find the ability to cope with the worst that happens. So, moving ahead with the next principle is that you should always try to eliminate your mind. Once you get smart, you keep getting smarter. For that, you need to ask yourself some questions such as, what really is my problem anyway? Has anyone faced my problem and overcome it? But you can overcome your problem by IPDE method, which is beautifully mentioned in this book, which says identify, predict, decide, and execute, which means that all you need to do is identify the problem, predict what this problem will do, and then decide your response from all possible alternatives, and then execute the most positive option. When you consider all the positive reaction, you will be motivated to do the positive action. You do not have a problem to solve. At that time, you just have a decision to make. Sometimes you need to have courage to make a right decision. Remember that each and every obstacle can be an opportunity. Anyone can succeed if he gets enthusiastic about life. Even when life seems empty, doors open to the enthusiastic person first. Sometimes it happens that unexpected help will come from unpredictable resources to the person who always remains positive, enthusiastic, and cheerful. Hence, if you need help, then we must ask for it. Don't be proud to tell, don't feel, that how we can ask for help, how we can tell to the people that we need help. Because sometimes it happens that uh, you need some help to manage your problem. So when the solution maybe lies in the help from some other sources. So instead of getting, instead of hesitating, asking the help, you should also not isolate yourself. You should, instead of isolating yourself, you should insulate yourself from negative forces, negative personalities. Maintaining a positive mental attitude sometimes become impossible task if you allow yourself get surrounded by negative thoughts constantly. It is We know that people who take care never gets anywhere. Managing problems requires that we should take charge and take control over the leadership. Now, what is leadership? Leadership is a force that selects your dream and sets your goal. So, yes, you would like to know now what are the leadership principles which are being discussed very nicely in this book. So, and the most interesting about these leadership principles are that each of them starts with letter F. And the first principle of leadership is that we should never surrender the leadership to outside forces, such as poverty or location or property, etc. There are many outside forces which we cannot control over, for example, recession. But we can take control over ideas and what we can do with them. So, the next leadership principle says that we should never surrender our leadership to fences. Fences are your limitations. For example, like we say that I don't have education, or I don't have enough money, or I don't have right people, etc. So never lock yourself in these limitations. The next says that do not surrender the leadership to frustrations. There are people who reach a point where they just cannot handle it anymore. Anyone who has dreams or who has goals also goes through frustrations. So do not give up in these type of situations. The next is that do not surrender the leadership to fantasies. Your mind might contain brilliant ideas, but it might fail. It might fall into the trap of some negative fantasies, such as I might try, but it can fail, or people will laugh at me. So these kind of things are there which we think. So here, let me tell you this, that if your dreams are bigger, if your ideas are creative, then there will be criticism. So do not allow yourself to fall into these negative fantasies. The next is, we all have that do not surrender leadership to the fear. The biggest fear that appears between you and your goal is the fear of failure. Now, it is better to attempt something and fail than doing nothing. And remember, failure does not mean that you are a failure. It means you haven't succeeded yet. So every loser who tries to do something is a great winner in reality. Let's move to another. that says that do not surrender leadership to false. Many people find faults in your great ideas, but do not let down your leadership. Accept the faults or imperfections because problems are meant for polishing. Then we should not surrender leadership to force. Like, people might appear friendly to you, but can actually be your foes. So then criticism is hard to take at that time. But soon you will understand that no single foe or criticism help you solve your problem. So why waste time listening to them? The next is that do not surrender your leadership to even friends. Friends can give advice, they can share opinion, but they should not have the final word. Like the person who has control over your decision is the one and only you. So do what you believe you must do instead of surrendering yourself to anybody else. So, and the last and the best leadership principle says that, which I like the most. That is, do surrender your leadership to only one thing, and that is faith. Yes, surrender your leadership to faith. Surrender leadership to God. Let Him be in control of your life. Let faith take control over your decisions or your actions. When you do that, positive possibilities are set to achieve your goals, as well as fantastic future that awaits for you. And yes, these were the today's reviews, which where we understood that to manage problems positively means to take control over your decisions, leadership, and goals. Now, who is in control of your life? Is it you, your family, your friends, or boss? So you can control yourself if you follow the 10 commandments of possibility thinking. Yes. And now, again, if you want to know about these commandments, you will have to join me in the next episode, which is third episode of this book review, and which will take place at the same time, same venue, same day, which falls on 23rd June, Wednesday. So till then, start implementing all these leadership principles and see what change you can make in yourself. Till then, see you. Take care. Bye bye. Meet us next Wednesday.